Welcome. It's great to have you joining us today on English Rise podcast.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to the English Rise podcast. This is your right place to learn easy English through real conversations and improve your life at the same time.
Yeah, no pressure here. Just simple English, real thoughts, and honest conversations.
And we're really happy you're here with us today. I was actually thinking about something earlier. One of those small moments that suddenly turns into a big question in your mind.
Oh, those moments are dangerous. What happened?
So, I was at a coffee shop this morning and I almost didn't buy coffee. I just stood there thinking, do I really need this? And then, I don't know why, but my mind went deeper into it.
That's interesting because it starts with something small, but then it becomes something bigger, right?
Exactly. It stopped being about coffee. It became about money, like saving it, spending it, and what's actually the right thing to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that, even if they don't say it out loud.
Right, because on one side, you hear people say, save your money, be responsible. And on the other side, people say, enjoy your life, don't think too much.
And both sound right, but also confusing at the same time.
Yeah, because if you spend money, sometimes you feel guilty, but if you don't spend it, you feel like you're missing something.
Exactly. It's like no matter what you do, there's always a small doubt in your mind.
And I think that's why this question feels so real for a lot of people. Like, if you really had to choose, would you rather save money or actually enjoy your life?
That's not an easy question, because everyone wants both, but balancing it is not simple.
Yeah, and I feel like many people are quietly dealing with this. They save money but don't feel happy, or they enjoy life but feel stressed about the future.
That's true. It's more than just money. It's about how we live.
So today, we're just going to talk about this in a very simple and honest way, like a real conversation.
And by the way, welcome to English Rise Podcast, where we talk about real life so you improve your English naturally.
Just listen, relax, and let the English come to you.
And if you enjoy these kinds of conversations, you can subscribe to our channel.
So, let me ask you honestly, do you think people really enjoy their money, or do they just keep saving it and wait for the right time that never really comes?
I think a lot of people are actually waiting for that right time, but the problem is that time keeps moving.
Yeah, exactly. Like people say, I'll enjoy later when I have more money, when things are stable, but later just keeps changing.
Right. And sometimes they don't even notice it. They just keep saving, planning, thinking, and suddenly a lot of time has passed.
And then it feels a bit strange. Like you worked so hard to save money, but you didn't really enjoy anything along the way.
Yeah, and I think for some people, saving money becomes like a habit or even a comfort.
Comfort?
Yeah, like it makes them feel safe. When they see their savings growing, they feel in control. Like, okay, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, I get that. It's like saving gives you peace of mind.
Exactly. But at the same time, if you only focus on saving, you might start saying no to everything else.
Yeah, like small things even. Not just big things like travel, but even simple things like going out, buying something you like.
Or even taking a break sometimes.
Yes, like life becomes very routine.
Right. Safe, but maybe a bit boring.
But at the same time, I also understand the other side. Like, if you just keep spending money without thinking, that can create stress too.
Definitely. Because then you start worrying about the future, like what if something happens and I'm not prepared?
Exactly. And that fear is real. It's not just overthinking.
Yeah, it's practical. Life is unpredictable, so saving money makes sense.
So it's like both sides are right, but also both sides feel incomplete.
That's a good way to say it. Neither one feels fully satisfying on its own.
Yeah, because I've noticed something. When I don't spend money, I sometimes feel like I'm missing out. But when I do spend, I sometimes feel guilty.
That's actually very common. A lot of people feel that same conflict.
And it's a bit tiring, honestly. Always thinking, is this the right decision or not?
Yeah, it turns even simple moments into big decisions.
Exactly. And that's what happened to me today with that coffee. It was such a small thing, but it made me think about all of this.
Yeah, sometimes small moments show us bigger patterns in our lives.
That's true. And I think this is where it gets interesting. Why do we actually feel this way in the first place?
Yeah, that's a really important question. I think a big part of it comes from how we see money in our lives.
What do you mean?
Like, some people see money as something to protect, so for them, spending feels risky, even if it's something small.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like every time they spend, it feels like they're losing something.
Exactly. And then there are other people who see money as something to use, to enjoy life, to create experiences.
Yeah, like people who love traveling or trying new things. For them, spending money feels exciting, not stressful.
Right, but even those people sometimes feel regret later, especially if they didn't plan things properly.
That's true. I've had moments like that. When I bought something and later I was like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't really necessary.
Yeah, we all have those moments.
But honestly, I think what's more interesting is the regret we feel when we don't spend money.
That's interesting. You think that regret is stronger?
Sometimes, yeah. Like when you say no to something you really wanted and later you keep thinking about it.
Yeah, like missing an opportunity.
Exactly. Like maybe your friends go on a trip and you decide not to go because you want to save money. But then later you see their photos, their memories.
And you feel like you missed out.
Yeah, and that feeling can stay for a long time.
That's true. Experiences are different from things. You can't really get them back later.
Exactly. You can always save money again, but you can't always repeat a moment.
That's a good point. But at the same time, I think some people have the opposite experience.
What do you mean?
Like, they enjoy everything in the moment, they spend freely, but later they feel stressed because they didn't save enough.
Yeah, that's also real. It's like short-term happiness, but long-term pressure.
Right, and that pressure can affect your daily life, your decisions, your peace of mind.
So basically, no matter which side you choose, there's always some kind of emotional cost.
Yeah, either you feel like you're missing out, or you feel like you're not secure.
And I think that's why people keep going back and forth. One day they think, I should save more. And the next day they feel like, no, I should enjoy life more.
Exactly. It's like an internal conversation that never really stops.
Yeah, it's happening in your mind all the time.
And even small decisions become part of that, like your coffee today.
Yeah, poor coffee. It started a whole life discussion.
But it shows something important. These small choices actually reflect how we think about life.
That's true. And maybe the real question is not just what we choose, but why we choose it.
Yeah, exactly, because the why is usually connected to something deeper, not just money.
Like emotions?
Yeah, emotions, and also past experiences, like how you grew up can really affect how you see money.
Oh, that's true. For example, if someone grew up in a situation where money was always a problem, they might become very careful with spending.
Right. For them, saving money is not just a smart decision. It feels necessary. It feels like protection.
Yeah, like they're trying to avoid that same stress again.
Exactly. And on the other side, some people grow up thinking life is short. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, maybe they saw people working all the time but not really enjoying life.
Right. So they don't want to repeat that pattern.
That's interesting. So it's not just about money, it's about the story behind the person.
Exactly. Everyone has a different relationship with money.
And I think fear plays a big role here too.
Yeah, definitely. Fear of the future. Fear of not having enough.
Like, what if something goes wrong? Or what if I need money later?
Right. And that fear can make people save a lot, sometimes even more than they actually need.
But at the same time, there's another kind of fear, right?
Which one?
The fear of missing life, like feeling that the time is passing and you're not really living it.
Yeah, that's a powerful one too.
Because money can come back, but time doesn't.
That's true. Time is limited, and people start realizing that more as they get older.
Yeah, and then they think, why didn't I enjoy things when I had the chance?
Exactly. So in a way, people are always choosing between two fears.
Yeah, fear of the future or fear of missing the present.
That's a very real conflict.
And I think that's why it feels so difficult to find balance, because both sides feel important.
Right. There's no clear, correct answer.
Yeah, and maybe that's why people feel a bit lost sometimes when it comes to money.
Yeah, they're not just managing money, they're managing emotions.
That's so true. It's not really about numbers, it's about how you feel about those numbers.
Exactly. And until you understand that, it's hard to feel at peace with your decisions.
Yeah, and I think this is where people start to realize something important. It's not just about choosing one side, it's about how you live with that choice.
I agree with that. But at the same time, I still feel like people sometimes go too far in the enjoy life direction.
You mean spending too much?
Yeah, like saying life is short for everything. Every small thing becomes a reason to spend money.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that too.
And I think that can be dangerous because in the moment it feels good, but later reality comes back.
That's true, but I also feel like the opposite is just as bad.
You mean saving too much?
Yeah, like always saying, not now, maybe later, and then later never really comes.
I get that. But at least in that case, you're safe financially.
Are you really safe, though? I mean, financially, maybe yes, but emotionally?
That's a good question.
Because if you keep saying no to things you actually want, after some time, you stop feeling excited about anything.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
It's like you're waiting for the perfect moment to enjoy life, but life doesn't really work like that.
True. There's always something to worry about. There's always another reason to wait.
Exactly. So if you keep waiting, you might end up doing nothing.
But still, don't you think some people use enjoying life as an excuse?
What do you mean exactly?
Like, they don't want to think about responsibility, so they just focus on the present and ignore the future completely.
Yeah, I think that happens too. It's like avoiding reality.
Exactly. And then later they feel stressed, maybe even regret their choices.
So basically, both sides can go wrong if you take them too far.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So maybe it's not about choosing between saving and enjoying. It's about knowing when to do each one.
Yeah, balance again.
We always come back to balance.
Because it's true. Even if it sounds simple, it's actually very hard to do in real life.
Yeah, because in real life, emotions are always involved, and emotions don't always follow logic.
Exactly. And that's why even smart people struggle with this.
That's true. And I think this becomes even clearer when you look at real situations in life, like when something actually happens to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to talk about balance in theory, but in real life, it's always a bit messy.
So true. Like in real situations, emotions are stronger than logic most of the time.
Right. And that's when people make decisions they later question.
Yeah. Actually, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt guilty after spending money on something you really wanted?
Yeah, definitely. Even if I enjoyed it in the moment, later I sometimes think, was it really worth it?
Exactly. That feeling. I think a lot of people experience that.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the situation too. Sometimes it's not about the price, it's about how meaningful it was.
That's a really good point. Like, if something gives you a good memory, you usually don't regret it that much.
Right, but if it's something random, then the regret comes faster.
Yeah, like buying something just because you felt like it in that moment.
Exactly.
So, viewers, what about you? Have you ever bought something and later thought, I didn't really need this?
Yeah, or the opposite. Have you ever said no to something and later you kept thinking about it?
That one hurts more sometimes.
Yeah, because you can't go back and change that moment.
Exactly. Like missing a trip or not joining friends. or even small things like not treating yourself.
And those moments stay in your mind longer than we expect.
So, viewers, think about it. Are you someone who saves more and avoids spending, or someone who enjoys life and spends more freely?
And more importantly, how do you feel after your decisions?
Yeah. Do you feel satisfied, or do you keep thinking about it later?
Because that feeling tells you a lot about your relationship with money.
Exactly. And maybe understanding that feeling is the first step to finding your own balance.
Yeah, and sometimes a small story from real life makes it even clearer.
Actually, I have one that comes to mind. A few years ago, I saved up for months to buy a new phone. I thought, oh, wait, I don't need it now.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, but then months passed and I didn't really enjoy anything. I was too focused on saving and planning. And when I finally got the phone, the excitement wasn't as big as I imagined.
Ah, so the waiting kind of took the joy away.
Exactly. I realized that I had missed out on enjoying little things along the way.
Yeah, I think that happens to a lot of people. They delay happiness thinking it will be better later.
Right. And on the flip side, I remember last year I spent a little more than I planned on a short trip with friends. At first I thought, maybe I shouldn't have done this.
But
But the memories I made, the laughter, the experiences, they were priceless. I didn't regret it at all.
see, that's the other side. Sometimes spending a little creates something you can't really measure with money.
Exactly. And that's what I love about stories like this. They show that it's not just about numbers, it's about feelings, experiences, and memories.
Yeah, little experiences like that can teach you more about balance than any rule about saving or spending.
And I think that's why it's important to pay attention, not just to the money, but to how these decisions make you feel in the moment.
Yeah, and I think one thing people really struggle with is thinking they have to choose one side completely, either saving everything or spending everything.
Exactly. And that's not realistic at all. Life is somewhere in the middle. You need to enjoy moments, but also be thoughtful about the future.
Right, and another mistake I notice is that people sometimes think they have to make huge decisions to enjoy life.
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be big trips, expensive gadgets, or fancy experiences. Even small, meaningful moments can make a big difference.
Exactly, like treating yourself to a coffee with a friend, or buying a book you've wanted, or even taking a small weekend trip somewhere close. These small things can give happiness without creating stress.
Yeah, and I think people forget that. They think if it's not huge, it's not worth it. But in reality, small moments are the ones we remember most.
And another thing I notice is that some people feel guilty about spending anything at all, even for small things.
Oh, yes. I've been there too. You think, I shouldn't spend this money. I should save. But then you realize that life is happening right now, and those little experiences actually matter.
Exactly. And one simple mindset shift that can help is remembering that saving and enjoying don't have to be enemies. They can actually work together.
Yeah, like you can save smartly, plan ahead, and still enjoy life. You don't have to wait for a perfect moment or an ideal situation.
Right. It's about balance and intentional choices. It's about deciding this is what I really want right now, and it's okay to enjoy it, while still keeping an eye on the future.
And another insight I've noticed is that some people only enjoy life when it feels like a reward. They think, I'll treat myself after I've saved a certain amount. And sometimes that reward never comes.
Yes, that's such an important point. Waiting too long can actually miss the experiences you could have enjoyed along the way.
Exactly. So, viewers, it's about being mindful, noticing how you feel when you make a decision, small or big. Ask yourself, am I enjoying this? Does it make me happy?
And at the same time, think about the future. A little planning goes a long way. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy life, it just means you're being thoughtful.
Exactly, because if you ignore either side completely, you'll either feel empty from not enjoying life or stressed from not planning ahead.
Yeah, the goal is to find a rhythm where both exist, saving and enjoying.
And that's why we want to hear from you. What do you think?
Are you someone who prefers to save more and feel secure, or someone who enjoys spending freely and making memories?
And more importantly, how do you feel after your choices? Do you feel happy, satisfied, or maybe a little guilty sometimes?
Share your experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and maybe even discuss some of them in the next episode.
Yeah, because your experiences can help others think about their own balance too.
Exactly. Every story matters, even the small ones.
So take a moment, think about it, and let us know, because this conversation isn't just about money, it's about life.
So now let's quickly look at some useful English from our conversation.
These are phrases and expressions you can use in your own life when you talk about money, choices, or feelings.
Yeah, and remember, we're keeping it simple and natural, nothing too complicated.
Okay, first one. I feel guilty about. This means you feel bad about something you did. For example, I feel guilty about spending so much money on coffee yesterday.
Exactly. You can also use it for other situations, not just money, like, I feel guilty about not calling my friend.
Second, at the end of the day. We use this to summarize what really matters in a situation. For example, at the end of the day, saving a little and enjoying life is important.
Yeah, it's like saying, when you think about the most important thing. It's very common in conversations.
Third, cut back on. This means to reduce something. For example, I need to cut back on spending so I can save for a trip.
You can also say, I'm trying to cut back on sugar, or cut back on watching TV. Very flexible.
Fourth one, save up for. This means to keep money until you have enough for something. For example, I'm saving up for a new laptop.
Yeah, it shows planning for the future. You can also use it like, I'm saving up for a vacation or saving up for my car.
And the last one, miss out on. This means to lose the chance to experience something. For example, I don't want to miss out on traveling with my friends this weekend.
Perfect. And you can also say, don't miss out on the opportunity to learn something new, or I missed out on the concert last week.
So just to recap these phrases quickly, I feel guilty about, at the end of the day, cut back on, save up for, and miss out on.
Yeah, these are really useful for talking about decisions, money, feelings, and even daily life situations.
And the best part is you heard all of them naturally in our conversation today, so it's easier to remember and use.
Yeah, try to notice these phrases when you hear English in real life or when you talk about your own experiences.
And later, we'll even practice speaking with them, so you can use them naturally yourself.
Yeah, because understanding is one thing, but speaking confidently is where it really helps.
All right, now let's move to some speaking practice. This is your chance to actually use English, not just listen.
Yeah, don't skip this part. Even if your English is not perfect, just try. That's how you improve.
So here's your first question. What do you prefer, saving money or enjoying life, and why?
You can answer like this: I prefer saving money because it makes me feel safe. Or, I prefer enjoying life because I want to create memories.
Good. Now, the second question, when was the last time you spent money and felt really happy?
For example, last week I spent money on dinner with my friends and I felt really happy.
Nice. And here's the third one. Do you ever feel guilty after spending money? What do you do in that situation?
You can say something like, yes, sometimes I feel guilty, but I try to remind myself that it's okay to enjoy small things.
Exactly. So now, pause the video, take a moment, and try to answer these questions out loud.
Yeah, speak slowly. Don't worry about mistakes. Just express your thoughts.
And if you can, try to use the phrases we learned, like, I feel guilty about, or save up for.
That will really help you sound more natural.
All right. And if you want to improve your English through real, simple, and meaningful conversations like this video,
And make sure to subscribe to our channel.
because here, you're not just learning English, you're learning how to think, speak, and express yourself in real life.
Exactly. Step by step, conversation by conversation.
So don't forget to subscribe and keep practicing with us. And before we finish, let's quickly recap what we talked about today.
Yeah, today's conversation was all about a very real question, saving money or enjoying life.
And we saw that it's not really about choosing one side, it's about finding a balance that works for you.
Right, because if you only save, you might miss experiences, and if you only spend, you might feel stressed later.
Exactly. So the idea is to be mindful, enjoy small moments, but also think about your future.
And we also talked about how our feelings like fear, guilt, and even past experiences affect how we make money decisions.
Yeah, it's not just about money, it's about how you feel about it.
And in the English part, you learned some really useful phrases.
Like, I feel guilty about, cut back on, and save up for.
Also, miss out on and at the end of the day, which you can use in many real-life situations.
So try to remember these, and more importantly, try to use them when you speak.
Yeah, even simple sentences can help you build confidence step by step.
And that's it for today's conversation. We really hope you enjoyed spending this time with us.
Yeah, and more importantly, we hope it made you think a little, not just about English, but about your own life too.
Because at the end of the day, soft emphasis, it's not just about saving money or enjoying life. It's about understanding what truly matters to you.
Exactly. And just like that, your English also improves step by step with simple, real conversations like this one.
So keep listening, keep practicing, and don't be afraid to speak, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah, progress is always more important than perfection.
Take care of yourself, keep learning, keep growing.
And we'll see you in the next conversation.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.